Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, Information Powers Design, Higher Education Owner Perspectives. This webinar is brought to you by Live Lab Learning, which is a subsidiary of Academic Corp, a wholly owned applied company created to provide world-class training. This is Dave Moore, and I'm delighted to be your moderator today. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to interact with us by typing in questions and comments on our question pad. We will be answering the questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be available to you on our YouTube channel. We also will send you an email following the webinar with a link to the recording. If you haven't already, please search Live Lab Learning on our Facebook page and like us to receive the latest information and special offerings. When you visit our website, livelablearning.com, there is a complete schedule of upcoming training. Please take a note for our upcoming webinars. Now here comes the fun part. Following the Q&A, at the end of the webinar, we will give away a $25 Visa gift card. However, you must be present to win the prize. Now, please join us in welcoming today's speaker, Applied Software's Higher Education Account Advisor, Linda Netzer. Linda?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started here. Our purpose and learning objectives today are to learn from the owner's perspective the value of building information and modeling. We're going to learn what owners are doing with the information that is available to be developed to inform facilities management. And we're going to review technology design tools in action on institutional projects. Applied Software has over 95 employees, including architects, project managers, fabrication, and construction specialists. In other words, we've developed a deep bench of talent, including a technical support team and a development team. This allows us to utilize our insight to help our customers adapt to the latest technology. I would be happy to arrange an introduction call with any of our team members at your convenience. Our corporate office is based in Atlanta, and our staff is spread throughout the Southeast United States and Texas. So here, let's go ahead and get started. This is how we used to do it. Here's a manual tablet and old electronic drafting. How many people on the call remember this? Some of the processes are still the same, so we are here to discuss moving forward. We'll be here for 1 hour. This is your presentation, so please enter questions in the chat box and we will answer them throughout the presentation or at the end, and for some questions we may answer them offline. I just wanted to take a moment to thank my colleague David Moore, who will be assisting me today. Thank you for attending. I know that there are things you could be doing, and we appreciate your time. Let's get started. Check out this photo. This is West Point in the early 1900s. In a culture of connectivity, data information that needs to be changed and utilized to maximize creativity and productivity, take notice here that there's no guidance. No one is talking. People are on their islands. If we zoom in a little bit, we'll notice the drafting table, the T-square, the triangle, the lead holder. Things have changed. We don't do business the same way anymore. Macro trends have caused a business evolution. Why should you consider changing the way you do things? The end result supports the whole project lifecycle. For the fixers, for the maintainers, downstream success is better building performance. Who benefits? Students, business occupants, facilities managers, operations teams, administrators, and stakeholders. Here's a little review for some of you. What is BIM? Building Information Modeling. It's all about the I in BIM. BIM is an intelligent 3D model-based process. BIM provides insight for creating and managing projects faster, more economically, and with less environmental impact. So take a look at this chart. The methods in which BIM will be implemented, or BIM uses, for generating, processing, communicating, executing, and managing information about the owner's facilities. And for this webinar, they can be broken down into two sections, project uses and operational uses. And just remember that as we're going along. You'll see the project uses and some of the operational uses. We're going to get started here on our case study of Georgia Tech. I want to introduce you to this project. It's the Biosystems building. It's $113 million in construction, 220,000 square feet of multidisciplinary research, and it's going to allow for enhanced partnership with researchers. Applied Software was hired as a consultant to be the owner's rep. Our main mission was to ensure the BIM processes were implemented early, and the result was data compliance to push into their facilities management systems. We worked with, we worked with the contractors, the subcontractors, and the design teams to be sure they were in compliance with the owner's requirements. We showed, one of the best parts about this project was we showed Georgia Tech's team best practices to execute their BIM execution plan. Here's a rendering. The facility will generate significant economic impact through new research awards and commercializations of technologies developed within. As mentioned before, Applied Software created the BIM execution plan that supported these goals and drivers. Everybody knew this and the importance of it as we progressed. So we focused on commission and facility management system turnover by focusing on the strategy, the process, and the workflow, and project execution planning. We focused on construction mobility with iPads and QR codes. And we focused on turnover of facility management model, working with the architects and engineers, working with the trades, with commissioning, and focusing on data validation. And the owner deliverable was handover of the BIM and COBie data. Now focus on the slide in the very center of the Project Information Repository, or PIR. The BIM and AEC information feeds into the PIR, Project Information Repository. The PIR was all in the cloud, and it changed as the project changed. It was accessible to all of the parties. The right data at the right time to the right people. And this methodology was designed in advance. The data was defined in the BIM execution plan. The strategy and the consensus for the team to deliver was with the integrated project planning. The development of BIM to COBie strategies for Georgia Tech facilities to move into their AIM AssetWorks Facilities Management Program. We defined the process as mature BIM to increase the comfort level of the stakeholders. So we focused on BIM proficiency. We focused on the BIM execution plan and the integrated project methodology. We developed an open architecture for interoperability. We asked for model quality and ensured it throughout the process. We asked for energy requirements and an overview. And we had project team milestone deliverables the whole way through the project. So here's the information exchanges and drilling down. OmniClass and COBie just don't generate pretty models, but it has the nomenclature that matches up with the FM software. What we're looking at here is the air terminal unit that feeds into facilities management software. And this data is in an industry standard consistent format. And what's so interesting is that it is a byproduct of the BIM process. Now here's the downstream data, and I meant to say this before, but COBE stands for Construction Operations Building Information Exchange. And if you're not sure what that is, please look it up. This is something that's becoming more and more prevalent in lots of public projects because it has an industry standard nomenclature. And by building the models accurately and expertly, the data was utilized in the output of this COBE compliant format and automatically populated. And if you look down at the bottom of the slide, you'll see the different sections: the facility, the floor, the space, the zone, the type, the component. So all of the data is involved in the model. Okay, everybody's seen this room. This is the old way. We're trying to get away from this. We don't want to do this kind of handover again. This is the kind of handover we want to provide. This is the actual building model. It's got lots of coordination. It's used for clash detection and understanding what's really happening in the building. Here you can explore and view. You can select an item or an element and report back information virtually. You can drill down specifically to objects, and this is, again, a natural byproduct of the BIM process. If you see here, those pipes should not run into that box. These are the built-in tools that provide the feedback. The clash detection tools are integrated into the model. Here's another byproduct: energy analysis. You can push the data to the cloud and develop energy calculations based on the address and zip code. How efficient is the building as designed? Then compare options. This takes minutes to generate. It used to take hours or not get done. Today, sustainability is the key. Gotta do it. Here's another byproduct, and these are the comparisons. Again, you could see the comparisons of the two options. And you could see, again, the fuel, the electricity consumption, the carbon emissions, and your costs. Again, byproducts of creating your model in a BIM-based design process. And if you're looking for additional value, you can even do sun studies and analysis, and there's structural analysis as well. Again, these tools are built in Autodesk BIM modeling software. So let's get into construction here, and I've got some pictures just to show you how the building looks as it was going up. Now, don't focus too closely on the words here, but I just wanted to show you that this is our internal applied software flow chart that describes our processes with tasks and duties. The point I'm making here with this slide is that it's a well thought out process, and it takes into account the owner's needs. While we were going through this, the facilities folks said they wanted to sticker all of the equipment, and we added this process during construction. We used a product called BIM 360 Field, and that correlated the data. The general contractor barcoded it and took a picture and associated the actual piece of equipment. At the handover, this was done for 986 pieces of equipment. Some of the things that BIM 360 Field addressed: safety, QM, punch lists, commissioning, and more COBE information. During the construction, the general contractor printed up maps and that was able to pull up that room or area and put up the model on the iPad. So you see the QR codes there, and that allowed people to use the technology they're carrying around with them. In our planning meetings, it was determined what would be covered in commissioning through digital means. This data, again, is accessible to the project stakeholders in real time because the teams utilize the technology that they have in their pockets. There were a lot of moving parts: the architect, the engineer, the trades, commissioning and administration, owners, and data validation. While we were building, revisions were happening. The team utilized a tool that puts it in the title block and schedules it out. They sought to improve control over changes in the project documentation. Now there's a new feature now. You can now delete these revisions. This allows you to incorporate and track changes utilizing Revit tools. Just be careful your contractors don't take it too literally. Here's another thing that's new this year. Check out Autodesk's PDF export enhancements. You can share your designs with electronic PDF files with automatically linked views and sheets. Each tag in the PDF file is to a hyperlink. Click on a hyperlink to jump to that view or sheet in the PDF file. This is a big advance. We're excited about this. BIM requirements in practice. We want to focus on sophisticated organizational project team BIM planning, allowing the teams to scope the level of development for geometry. They could then identify data for specific BIM uses across disciplines and project phases. Having the end in mind was a key driver for supporting downstream information uses. The team embraced the spirit of IPD as much as possible under the state's design build contract. The owner's BIM project execution strategy was revisited at every milestone of the project. Therefore, expectations were planned and met. Construction phase BIM coordination and conflict resolution are regularly scheduled with all trades. Fabrication, installation, and commissioning workflows enhance construction field operations. Now, oftentimes people ask me, well, we're not doing a $113 million building. We're doing some small renovations or maybe a small building. So I have this example of a little project that was created in Revit. It's very, very simple, and it sort of illustrates the point of doing a BIM process, even for a simple arbor project. So just follow along with me here. So you see there's our design in 2D with our measurements and our information. We get a little bit more detailed here. There's our elevation. We can see what we're talking about. It's a real understanding of the image. A few clicks later, and you're here. And a few clicks later, and you're here. You can really understand what you've done with the project, make changes, and you can see it instantly. This was a real project. Here it is under construction. Another little construction picture. And here's the final project. So here's the old way, like we said in the beginning. And here's the new way. Now, this is a great opportunity for questions. Dave, are there any questions at this point?
No, actually, no.
Okay.
Doing great.
Be sure to ask them. We will answer. I'll have another break at the end of the session. So a lot of people ask me, we're interested in BIM. We did a little bit of BIM here and there, but how do we really get started? And I'm going to give you a few tips. Find a champion within your organization and commit effort from IT to administration to explore BIM. You can hold a BIM charrette for the wider campus community and expand the conversation to gain buy-in. You want to review facilities management needs, especially in regards to new construction, and encourage FM to get involved earlier in the process. And contact Applied Software for best-in-class guidance. We'd love to discuss our work with Georgia Tech, University of Central Florida, and other projects we've worked with to help you get better at BIM. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this report, there's a report called the BIM Smart Market Report 2014, and I really do encourage you to look it up and read that whole report. Really helps you to understand the value of BIM. And I adapted this little slide from that report. And it asks, how do you derive value from your BIM consultants? There are a lot of people out there who talk about BIM, who think they know about BIM, but do they really have the experience to execute? Ask about their BIM perspectives. Do they understand the design, the contractors, and the owners? Study their BIM execution plans and check for milestones and budgetary pricing. Be sure they understand project delivery, contracts, licensing, liability, and business procedures and your culture. Consultants should provide implementation guidance, training, videos, and follow-up for internal use and project teams. And make sure that they have the software skills, deliver intended results, and set up end-user review of deliverables to ensure quality. And seek consultants who understand industry workflows and who help automate processes rather than bill a lot of hours. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on Autodesk's upcoming business model change. And if you're unfamiliar with the business model change, please give me a call after the session so we can talk about how this will affect your Autodesk licensing in your facilities management department. It's important to note that Autodesk is moving away from perpetual licenses and toward a pay-as-you-go desktop subscription model. And this will only affect how new seats are purchased. And facilities educational use top seller suite products can be licensed on a perpetual mode until July 31st, 2016. So you've got some time to figure this out, but please contact me so I can help you make the best decision for your organization. Existing perpetual contracts will be renewed when the time comes, and for higher education, we're recommending purchasing additional perpetual suites for as long as you can to head off pricing increases. Now, I'm just scratching the surface on this topic, so if you've got questions about this, please contact me offline. And I wanted to explain a little bit about Applied Software and our relationship with DLT. We are partners, and DLT is the master government reseller with Autodesk since 1996. They have multiple contract vehicles, and almost all schools in the public sector qualify for GSA or one of the state contracts. DLT also has an education-focused representative working closely with the Applied Software team, Donald, and that's his number right there. And if you've got any questions for me or for Donald or for DLT, please get in touch. Now, I always like to do these a little bit off topic. When I do these webinars, I always like to provide some sort of exciting something, your tech tip of the day, I like to call it. So we're going to talk about Periscope. Twitter bought them, so it's obviously got something good going on. What it does is it broadcasts live video to the world, and going live will instantly notify your followers who can join, comment, and send you hearts in real time. The more hearts you get, the higher they flutter on the screen. This is actually going to change a lot of things. And I've just got to the end of my presentation here, and Dave, I'll ask again, are there any questions?
No questions at this time. So, unless somebody wants to chat with us afterwards, or you can also type your question right now if you wait a second or two. But right now we could probably move forward with the
drawing.
Visa gift card giveaway.
That's
right.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you take the floor. I wanted to thank everybody for listening. And Dave, take it away.
All right. Our winner, we just drew a name, is Ricky Kramer. Ricky, are you available? You need to type in the chat box to see if you are there still.
All right, good job, Ricky. Thank you for participating. All right, you can see our follow-up information. Again, we flash it up. If you have any questions, please contact myself or David. Those lines are our direct lines. Love to talk with you about your facilities management programs and how you can bring BIM and how Applied Software might be able to help. Thank you so much for participating. Dave, I think that's a wrap.
All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.